So, according to an EA engineer, the Wii U is crap. This has got to be the funniest story I've heard in a while. I can't wait to get to this. But before we get to this video, let's get to the question of the day. Alright, so stay tuned to the end of this video to find out the answer to the question of the day. Alright, so a senior engineer at EA Electronic Arts, the infamous conglomerate publisher, basically this person, and he mentioned this on Twitter, alright, so he tweeted a bunch of anti-Wii U messages. Well, not so much anti, but just kind of blasting Wii U, just completely attacking it and burying the hell out of it. And, I mean, this is just amazing. I'll post a link in the description. But basically what he said, the Wii U is crap. Less powerful than an Xbox 360, poor online store, weird tablet, Nintendo are walking dead at this point. Sony, Microsoft, Apple, Google, all following the same playbook. Standard, powerful hardware would focus on software and services. And then he goes, Nintendo are still operating like it's 1990. They should have done a SEGA and offered Mario and Zelda as PS4, Xbox 720 exclusives. Instead, they made this awful console, the Wii U. Just stop it. Just make great games. Oh my freaking goodness, that was amazing. I gotta clap it up. Alright. Awesome tweets. Awesome tweets. Unfortunately, he ended up deleting his tweets. The guy's name is... he is a... EA developer. His name is Bob Summerwill. So, Electronic Arts Senior Software Engineer and Architect. And he definitely laid the smackdown on freaking Wii U. I mean, my god, that was amazing. Love that. Love that. Now, because it's funny, because this guy, he's been working for EA since 1999, and apparently EA themselves, they're not even working on Wii U games anymore. They don't have any upcoming games right now for the system. They've released 4 games so far for the Wii U, 4 titles, in contrast to the original Wii, which had like 78 games. They consistently supported the original Wii. And I mean, that's kind of embarrassing. I mean, I don't even know what to say. That is absolutely fascinating. Come to think of it, I can't think of a single like Activision, I mean, not Activision, but I can't think of a single EA title that's like significant on the Wii. Like, I mean, I guess the Wii, it sold a lot of copies, or a lot of units rather. So it's understandable that EA wants to, you know, publish games for it. But what I found the most interesting about his comments was that Nintendo should have gone the route of SEGA. So I mean, of course, we all know SEGA used to make consoles. They used to be in the hardware industry. They used to compete directly with, you know, Nintendo and Sony as one of the big three, you know, making the video game systems and stuff. And Nintendo, he's basically saying, man, Nintendo should have just, you know, licensed out their titles and their exclusives, Mario and Zelda, to the Sony and Microsoft brands. I mean, that would have been interesting to see, but... And if they had actually became sort of a Sega-style publisher, where they just basically released games for other, it became a third-party support kind of thing, and that would have been kind of cool to see. Definitely would have changed the game completely. I mean, it would have been so interesting if Nintendo just stopped making consoles. It's like, fuck it, we got the Wii did well, the DS did well. I mean, the 3DS, understandably, they want to keep that around, and I can understand maybe even Nintendo sticking around with the handheld business. But as far as the Wii U, I mean, there's so much criticisms about it. I can't even defend the Wii U at this point. I mean, it's selling very low compared to the other systems, except for the Vita. But regardless, I mean, it's not... doing well. I mean, people are complaining about it like crazy. Like, it's fucking, this system is not doing it right. Something's got to give. You know, all these complaints, all these third-party publishers that's not even supporting the Wii U at the moment, like, whoa. It's ultimately Nintendo's fault, though. You gotta be honest, man. Nintendo, you know, they've been behind a generation behind the other systems. It's weird because they used to be ahead, okay? Fucking put out the N64, which was technically 2 generations above the Saturn and the PlayStation. It was 64-bit, you know, back in the day, so it was the most powerful system in the world for a while. And then by the time the GameCube came, and the GameCube was, it tried to look a little bit different and a little bit more, I don't know, just appealing and kind of cartoonish looking. Not even cartoonish, but fucking, it looks like a toy. It was purple, it was a box, had small discs, you know. It just, they wanted to make it stand out so much, but it just didn't have the appeal. It failed to communicate and connect with a crowd. It failed to get over for the most part. And then the Wii came, and then the Wii just fucking became Mr. Casual, you know, super casual. All the fucking the families wanted to get it. Everybody had to have one because it was cheap as hell, had a low controls, gimmicky. That would have been very cool, though. I mean, I gotta admit, the idea of Nintendo not making systems anymore, home consoles anyway, and then Sega doing it again. Like, instead, Sega is now creating consoles. Like, they switched places. You know, it's... That would have been cool, too, to fucking see that. Like, fuck Nintendo, fuck off for now. Let's bring in Sega. Sega start making consoles again, and they could switch places. Like, that would have been kind of interesting. I think people have been clamoring and be fucking hungry for a Sega system, like a Dreamcast 2 or something like that. But realistically, because it's weird, I got a instant message or a private message or some shit from somebody who was trying to start a petition on starting a brand new Sega system, and they're like, oh, we have like 300 signatures right now, and I'm just like, oh my fuck, are you serious? This shit's never gonna happen. You know, Sega's done with the console shit, you know what I mean? Just like Atari's fucking done with it. Sega, they stopped. It's over. It's a wrap for those guys. They're not gonna make systems anymore in the near future. You know, they're out of that business. They're out of that loop because they got killed. You know what I mean? They failed in that industry. They failed to sell. They failed to market their system properly. They made a lot of mistakes. And if you're a company like Nintendo who isn't doing it successfully, if you're failing to fucking sell your system, you're failing to compete against the big dogs like the 360 and the PS3 when it comes to sales, and it seems like a losing battle. By the time the fucking PS4 comes out in the 720, they're gonna be much more powerful apparently, and they're probably gonna sell a lot more than the fucking Wii U, and it's gonna be like a never-ending, you know, losing battle for Nintendo. So why don't just quit while they're ahead, kind of thing, you know? It just seems to make more sense. Nobody gives a shit about Nintendo systems anymore, aside from handhelds. Then fuck Nintendo's home consoles, and, you know, stop releasing it then. Alright, so this was the answer to the question of the day.